Hello everyone, and welcome to Project A.U.C. Today we're going to continue with part 2 of the Awoken Wisdom cold read with the monster within. Let's begin. There's always something in me that wants to come out, but I tend to feel doubt. I'm so caged on the inside, I can't do anything this time. I have to let this thing free, or else it will consume me. The clock has been ticking, and now the time has come to block out the lying, because I need to know who I am. What truly lies beneath is a monster about to be unleashed. Instead of letting others walk on me, I will rise above them so that they can see what it's been like to be nothing. But now, I am the one taking action and making a stand to become something. I know that my presence will not be enough satisfaction. I will keep fighting and no longer stop. I don't need negative feedback. I will climb to the top. Through my strength and endurance, I will make a powerful comeback. I'm not the monster that others will fear. I am the one that will make things clear. Even though there is only one me, I believe I can present change when I see that instead of me, it will be we. No longer alone, this will be a much bigger change for those who have fallen. We will be the ones who have risen. Tearing down these captivating walls, expressing what we are rather than what we're not, telling the world to hear our cry of calls so that they can see we have our stories. We are not to be forgotten, but if the message is spread, there will be no worries. I may be attacked by my threats, making me very breakable, but when I beat them, there will be no regrets, because I will be the one feeling invincible. So jumping into the background of the writing process for The Monster Within, it was the second spoken word piece that I wrote for this first series of the Awoken Wisdom series. And just a little bit of, I guess, to sum things up for why what came to mind when I wrote this was that we desperately attempt to hide the darkest side of our life from others, but sooner or later these emotions and feelings will manifest into something we may fear even more. Keeping these things locked up in a cage will not be the solution. As time moves on, you will feel more like a monster who holds too much destruction in their path of life. The regrets you keep will be an endless mark of blood on your hands as it reminds you of the difficult times your body has endured and the corruption of your mental state. Emotions and feelings are always temporary, but holding this monster inside you could be forever unless you are prepared to let go and open your heart to a new light. So with that short description of summing things up for The Monster Within, And of course, if you watch the video of the monster within, it has a little bit more context as to some of the words mentioned in that description. So I really wanted to emphasize that a lot of times we do hold a part of ourselves that we hardly let anyone else see, and sometimes that's a really big struggle that many of us can face because it just feels like we're constantly fighting this bad side of ourselves, and we're just trying to maintain control, because if we do let loose of this monster in however way you perceive this monster, it could be of anger, it could be of sadness, any type of emotion or feeling, that once it explodes, it's out there, and it's just tough to really, sometimes really tough to express that side of yourself to other people. And a lot of times we can be very stubborn as to, just talking to someone about how we're feeling, and a lot of times it just feels like we tend to keep the bad side of our lives caged up longer than what it has to be, and we just get a lot of bad emotions and feelings bottled up until at some point it's gonna become a breaking point in our life where we're not gonna know when we're gonna break and let out these emotions and feelings and the side of ourselves that we don't want anyone else to see. And this monster, and again, however way how you perceive that, that this monster that we feel deep within can manifest from our challenges, struggles, or doubts that we come across in life. So even when you're going through a bad day, like whether that be with family, friends, a work environment, school, anything that you can think of that's going to cause you a lot of bad tension, that's really the point in where, those moments can really build up on how we're going to react later on down the road. And when we reach our breaking point, it just feels like that monster is being unleashed with those bad intentions of where you probably don't mean to lash out of anger, and it just really gives the wrong idea to when, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad to let things out, especially out of anger. But you have to understand, like, there has to be good in it somewhere, to where you have to understand yourself that you know yourself better than anyone else can. And with that side of yourself that you've kept caged in for so long, you're gonna know that side of yourself more than anyone else, and it's really going to be determined by you on how you're going to go about to seek for help and get clarity on how you should move on from being that type of person. And again, but if we can release that negative aspect of ourselves calmly, it will make the process easier to let go of the things that hurt us from within. Because really, like, when we come down to challenges, struggles, like, it really comes from like another source of feeling where, you know, if we're feeling angry, it could be because we're hurt by either by what someone said or did, and the way how we're reacting is, you know, for example, out of anger because we're mad about what that person said or did. And it really comes down to, like, you know, trying to be your best self, to be the better person of yourself. So now, moving forward from the writing process, to go into the discussion of the filming process. So yes, it was filmed at a park, and this was one of the videos where I had help from a friend, and my friend helped me get really cool shots of the scenery, of, you know, particular points of view of where things should be shot for the important moments for the writing process. So one thing I do want to dive into was the background of, like, the fencing, where it's kind of like, you know, like a fencing gate where it's like all like a metal-ish gate. So that I kind of saw that as like symbolism of being caged inside, because how it starts off where I'm just sitting there on the floor in the background, where there's, you know, this cage behind me. So it kind of gives you the idea that you're looking at a point of view where I'm caged inside. And also with that beginning shot of the opening of the Monster Within video, you can see a moment where I stand before making that choice to climb over the fence to go through another obstacle, which is a climb to the top of the mountain. And I really liked that part a lot, because it kind of just like I took you to where kind of like a point where I had to make a choice for myself, to where I could stay caged inside, or I could try to, you know, break through, hop over my barriers in life, and just proceed to go up to the top of the mountain, to know that there is always something better if I can, you know, pull myself together to realize that, you know, that it's possible to beat the feelings and emotions that keep me trapped inside the most. And I feel like that breaking away and just moving forward from those bad feelings and emotions kind of gives you more of that freedom to find relief and see how much more success there is to come if you're willing to take a step forward. So yeah, like with that shot, it kind of just, the beginning of it, just giving the idea that there's a choice that you can always make. There's always a choice. And there's another point in particular where I'm on the ground staring at my hands, and when you see me looking at my hands, as well as from the point of view of the audience, you can see that there is like red. There's red all over my hands, and again, that's red paint, but ideally, for symbolism, it's supposed to, with what I mentioned earlier, that when you go through life, it feels like you're carrying on these bruises and from the struggles of, the pain and the burdens, that kind of just feels like you got blood on your hands to remind you that, there's stuff hidden underneath everything. So again, at that point, it was really a callback to the moment I mentioned about to the moment I mentioned earlier about the regrets you keep will be an endless mark of blood on your hands, as it reminds you of the difficult times your body has endured and the corruption of your mental state. And with that, when I realize for that turning, I feel like that's a good turning point within the video of Monster Within, where I start to realize that I need to get up, and then shortly after I start getting up, realizing that that yes, I do have my reminders of every struggle, every pain that I faced in life, but I shouldn't let that stop me, and I shouldn't let myself be constantly reminded and caged in with all of those past memories, where it's not gonna take me any further in life. So then at that point, when I do get up, even then you'd see me struggling to just get up and try to carry on, and then at that point I'm back at looking over the fence, seeing that there's going to be a mountain ahead of me, or hill, but you get the point. So from there, I realized that it's time that I just carry on and move forward and just go through different challenges that are going to help me grow further the more I keep climbing to the top to reach the success that I know that's there at the top. So final thoughts for monster within, I would say, kind of just gives you a feeling with the scenery that it gave the essence for the monster within, feeling closed in within the beginning, in the middle, and then towards the end, it gave you a sense of feeling open. But of course, with the beginning, just understanding that you have that choice and you can decide to remain closed in or be open, because the longer you stay closed in with all of your negativity, your pain, your struggles, or your regrets, it's going to take you longer to become more open to challenges and struggles that are going to help you grow and become stronger, and to know that you can be stronger. But yep, that's gonna conclude for the monster within. If you want to check out the video again, you can look at it at Project A.U.C on YouTube, and make sure to subscribe to Project A.U.C on YouTube. And also make sure to follow Project A.U.C on Instagram for more videos, updates for future videos to come. And stay tuned for part 3 of the Awoken Wisdom cold read. And remember, always uplift for change.